Hey guys, let's talk about budget preps. You know, I've done videos on this, I don't know, a good handful of times over the years, and you know, they always kind of, at least you know, are helpful to some people. We really do, as preppers, get caught up in the world of buying bullets, food, medical supplies. You know, we always are saving our money for things like generators or power inverters or solar panels or anything like that. You know, we tend to look at the big picture and we always tend to miss the little things. And I like to do videos every once in a while to kind of remind us that we can't forget about the little things as preppers. We need to think about these things, and you know, and in the end, we're trying to be prepared, not just for major disasters, but for life in general. You know, make sure you have things available to you for hard, you know, when you do reach hard times. You know, it's not just about, you know, the end of the world, guys. It's about, what if you lose your job? What if you get sick and can't afford to pay your bills? Spending money on things when you have money is good. And I'm going to cut the preaching short, but think of it this way, guys. Every time you spend money like going out to eat or getting coffee at Dunkin' Donuts or you know, doing things that cost money that don't get you anything in return, they really don't help. You know, yes, they're fun, they're enjoyable, we really like doing them, but in the end, you know, part of being a prepper is sacrificing some of those things in order to prepare yourself for any future eventuality. And for me, you know, I've kind of come a long way. I really like to do these videos about little things just to refresh you guys and show some of these little things you can get for just dollars that will really help. Now, this right here, what you're looking at on this table, will cost you your morning cup of coffee for a week. So if you go every morning and get a cup of Dunkin' Donuts coffee, maybe a donut with it, this is what you could have in a week. And what we got here is some wood glue, some epoxy, some plastic wedges from Harbor Freight, a couple chisels, and a can of WD-40. These things are all things we ignore. For me, glue, I stockpile glue. I probably have the biggest stockpile of glue of like any man imaginable. I cannot believe it, but for some reason, just every time I go to like Home Depot or Lowe's or Harbor Freight, I always come back with a thing of glue, whether it's super glue, wood glue, epoxy, even JB Weld. I always pick one up. And I have this bin out in my garage, barn garage, and basically I just throw them in there. And in that bin I've got like duct tape, glue, epoxies, JB Weld, all those things. I just stuff it in that bin. Anything that's like that kind of stuff, glue, tape, anything like that. And that bin's almost full now, so I'm gonna have to start a second one. But over the years, I've just kind of built it up, and I have all different kinds of glues and all that available to me. Some of them are really small, like these two here. These are the small kind of sample sizes, and some of them are like the big, gigantic, you know, gallon jugs of wood glue. You know, because those are only like 10, 12 bucks. So I buy those things all the time because let's face it, if the grid goes off long term, you know, you can't count on your solar panels forever. You can't count on your windmill forever. You know, eventually there's going to come a point, if the grid never comes back up, that you're going to have to go back to traditional woodworking, traditional building, which means making, you know, the old mortise and tenon joints and sticking them together with wood glue, you know, doing dovetail joints and things like that, and using glues rather than using screws and nails, because those things are going to run out eventually too. So I like to have a big stockpile of that stuff. You know, I have a ton of screws and a ton of nails and all that, but being a prepper, if I walk into a hardware store, I'm walking out with glue. That's just who I am. Next you see a couple of plastic wedges from Harbor Freight. These things are like $1.99 a piece, and sometimes if you get them with like those little Harbor Freight coupons, you can get them a little cheaper. Same thing, when I walk into Harbor Freight, I buy a couple of these. Why? Because just because. No, because let's face it, in a shit hits the fan, grid down, long-term scenario, not just your run-of-the-mill, disaster, but the grid's going to be down for a year or more, your main fossil fuel in life is going to be wood. And I'm sorry, but you're not going to have enough gas in your lawn or in your supplies to run a chainsaw for a year. You're not going to have. You may. I mean, granted, some of you guys might have huge gas supplies out there, but I don't. So, you're going to need to rely on wood and not do it with power tools. So you're going to need the axes, the mauls, things like that. But also, these little splitting wedges are just great, handy things to have. We used to use them all the time when I was a kid. I just remember buying these cheap black ones from this hardware store, and they didn't last long because they're plastic, but they made getting wood a lot easier because when I was younger, my parents wouldn't let me go out with a chainsaw. They'd let me go out with wedges and use it to take down trees and split wood and do that for the wood stove we had. So having a good handful of these laying around will never hurt you. And the plastic ones are easy to throw in your pack and carry around. So if you are having to travel, say you are a urban prepper and you do have to travel a little ways to get your firewood, having a couple of these light plastic ones you can throw in your backpack makes them really easy to carry and good for traveling, especially when you're going a bit of a ways to get your wood. Next, you see a couple of chisels. Do you need to buy chisels? No. I just put them there as an example because they're cheap Harbor Freight tools. I'm a firm believer in buy good American-made tools, but also buy cheap piece of shit tools. And why do I say that? Because you don't want to ruin your really good tools on crummy jobs. So I believe in buying these cheap $5 Harbor Freight things, once again throwing them in a bin somewhere, because you can stash them away, and if you have a dirty, nasty job, break them. And break the cheapos. Don't ruin your good stuff. I know every tool has its own purpose, and chisels and screwdrivers are probably the two most common tools that get misused by people. So why not have a couple sets of the cheapos, $5 ones? Because if you're going to be chiseling into something you shouldn't be, you don't want to be using your good stuff. So I do like having a bunch of cheap tools around. So I do buy on occasion, especially around Christmas time when they have those like Christmas deals for like the cheap, Chinese made sets. I'll buy an extra screwdriver set, an extra chisel set, some pliers, whatever. And maybe I throw them in my car, maybe I throw them in the garage, maybe I throw them in one of my emergency kits. Who knows, but it's good to have the extras around because, if you're going to misuse a tool, misuse the cheap Chinese ones, not your good ones. And guys, it's real important. Buy good American-made tools. It just, they will last you a lot longer. And use them properly. Every tool has a job. And if you're going to misuse a tool, please do it to one of the cheap Chinese-made piece of shit, because I hate to see, nothing's worse than seeing like really good American-made tools that are broken because somebody misused them. It just bothers me to no end. Last, of course, WD-40. I've actually done a video entirely on WD-40 and how useful an item it is for preppers. And so, of course, I wanted to add it into this. You can get a can of this stuff. This one here was part of one of those bulk packs of 4 you can get from Home Depot. It was a pack of 4 for $10. So it's like a little over $2 a piece. Great buy. Buy them in bulk. Buy them in that $10 bulk. Take them, stuff them wherever you can stuff them. It's something, once again, it's not going to go bad, and it's something you can use. Like I said, we're going to be fixing things. That grid goes down and stays down. Everything you own, you're going to have to fix and maintain yourself. WD-40 is a part of that. Things are going to get rusty. Things are going to get locked up. Things are going to seize. You want a boatload of WD-40. I probably have maybe like a small box full of WD-40. Probably, I got between like 15 and 20 cans like that stashed away. And that's not where I want to be. I definitely want more. I want you know, a lifetime supply of WD-40. And how do I do that? $10 at a time, buy a package. You know, when I get a little extra money at Home Depot, Lowe's, whoever has it on sale. So there you go, guys. Cheap, easy stuff. Remember, it's not always about bullets and food. You're gonna need things to live, things to survive, and some of those things are about gathering wood. Some of them are going to be about maintaining your tools, taking care of things, and building things. And remember that you need to be able to resume the lifestyle of someone who lived in the early 1900s, and get things that will help you do that. You know, it's okay, and this will probably draw like crazy negatives, but it is okay to take a break from the bullets, to take a break from the food, and pick up stuff like this. You know, you will burn out if all you buy is bullets and food, and you're spending all your spare money on guns. You're gonna burn out. You're gonna get tired of prepping, and you're gonna stop. Take a break. Buy some stuff. Buy some stuff you can enjoy and use and play around with, and you know, tools and things like this that will help you. And pick up a few skills along the way. It's the best way to prepare, guys, is pick up skills and things like this. Picking up a couple of these plastic wedges and practicing how to split wood with wedges. Great skill to have, great thing to know, rather than learn when the shit hits the fan. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and remember, always keep an eye out for these little things that we always